Hey guys, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I promise this is the last video tonight. I've just been over on Twitter and watched, like Doc Dark's newest video about Starfield and everything else. And man, I don't know how to help you guys. I don't know how to help you guys, man. Like I don't know, man. I saw this coming a freaking mile away. I saw this coming a mile away, man. From the moment that we started, that like the first freaking game got announced, the first next gen game got announced at 30 frames per second, man. I saw this coming a long time ago. And the truth is, I love video games. So am I really going to let something like 30 frames per second stop me from enjoying something that might be the best game ever made? And I played Witcher 3 freaking 30 frames per second, dropping into the 20s when it first launched. I thoroughly enjoyed that experience. I played Bloodborne at 30 frames per second. That's a Souls game, man. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I played Dark Souls 2 and beat that at 30 frames per second. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I played all four of the Uncharted games at 30 frames per second. God of War 2018 at 30 frames per second. Final Fantasy VII Remake, 30 frames per second. Ghost of Tsushima, played that at 30 frames per second. Man, I played so many games last generation at 30 frames per second. Death Stranding, Spider-Man, all of these games at 30 frames per second. And you know what? It never bugged me. Never bugged me at all. Until we got to this generation. And then 30 frames per second really didn't start bugging me until I got that OLED. That's when 30 frames per second started bugging me. When I got that OLED TV, the flicker, the 30 FPS flicker got more intense. Because I remember I was still able to play when I had the when I had the LED TV, the QLED, I was still able to play 30 frames per second. Now on my monitor, I'm able to play 30 frames per second games on the Series S all the time, and it doesn't bug me anymore. So it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, dude, I love 60 FPS. I think 60 FPS is awesome. I love 120 FPS. I think that's awesome. Anything above 60 FPS is incredible. But 30 FPS is still playable, still enjoyable. And in this generation, like this is my honest thought, man. This generation is gonna be a different one, man. Like I finished that Final Fantasy 16 demo, playing that and experiencing that on the monitor, freaking awesome. Game looks incredible. I'm barely noticing like a lot of the performance issues in that demo. Not too bad. Was able to play right through that and had a good time, with that. And but when I put it on the 4K TV and I was playing around with the performance mode on that, like, man, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. And like the frame rate was just kind of all over the place in certain sections for that experience. So I was just like, oh boy, man, I'd just play this on the monitor, man. I don't know, man. Like after watching Doc Dark's video, bro, I'm like what is more important to these guys, man? Is it like gaming, or is it some imaginary console war? Because to tell you the truth, there's a good amount of people, that are on Twitter, on YouTube and stuff like that actually care about like the console war stuff. They care about the salt, they care about the negativity, man, and they go back and forth all the time. But I mean, if you're a real consumer, if you're a real video game lover, man, and you're watching this, I'm grateful that you found my channel, because that's me, man. I love video games. And I started getting caught up in some of that whole console war nonsense at first, but as I look back and as I look forward, man, I just want to enjoy playing video games, man. I just want to have fun. Like, I don't care about the console wars. I don't care about the T-flops. I don't care about the PlayStation 5. I don't care about the issues that these consoles have. What I care about is the games, and that's what I want to cover on this channel, is just the games, man. I just want to be able to have fun. Like, I just did my review for Final Fantasy 16. I finished that tonight. I got that out. Man, I love that game. That game is awesome. I love what Square Enix was able to put together with Final Fantasy 16. I'm so hyped for that game, and I already see the freaking trolls over there on Twitter bashing it, as he's dropping down to 31 frames a second in the performance mode. Like, I get that, man. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X were definitely touted as some pretty powerful machines, and I get that. They are definitely more powerful than the base consoles last generation, but they're not super more powerful than what... I mean, a lot of it comes from like Digital Foundry and all these other, tech people that are like, oh, yeah, they get you all hyped up with all this power and the teraflops and all of this stuff, and then the marketing buzz. But then when you actually come down to earth and realize what you have, like with the Xbox Series X, we got multiple games that were upgraded to 60 FPS. We've been spoiled with 60 FPS on these consoles. So I get the frustration in the community that people feeling like they were lied to, or Doc over there saying stuff like it's unacceptable for Starfield to be running at 30 frames per second. I don't know if he fully understands the tech that's involved in Starfield. I don't know if a lot of these YouTubers do, man. Like, I don't know. Like, with all due respect, to Doc Dark and stuff, like, if you land on a moon and you walk around and you leave like little boot prints, and then you leave, and then say you come back to that like 1,000 hours later or something while you've been playing, and you come back to that exact same spot and you walk over there, your boot prints are still going to be there. If you walk 50 feet on Horizon Forbidden West in the snow and then come back, like, your footprints are already gone. They're like already like snowed over. You know what I mean? Like, the tech that goes into a Bethesda game is unlike some of the games that we've ever played before. And to be able to like go around literally and just collect sandwiches off of tables everywhere and take them back to your ship and just build a pile of sandwiches, and for them to still be there every time you go back and not just disappear, like it tracks every single freaking item in that game. That's incredible. That's incredible. Like, this is a very next gen game. And like, I get the whole argument from Todd Howard wanting to make that game a visual showcase over a performance showcase. Like, I get that. Like I do. And when you're playing that game, this September, when you download it on Game Pass and you see this game, and you'll be able to decide for yourself. You'll know immediately if the sacrifice and performance was worth it for the visuals. Like, you'll know immediately, and you'll just sit there and you'll get out and you'll look around, and then you'll have to ask yourself, if this was blurry 1080p at 60 frames a second, would I still be able to appreciate this experience visually? Like you'll have to ask yourself. That's something that you're gonna have to ask yourself. Are you gonna want it to look good on your 4K TV, or are you okay with it? To me, man, I just kind of feel like Starfield is one of those games that you're gonna want that visual quality a lot more than you're going to want that. And yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, you would want a choice. You would want to be able to make up that decision for yourself. But if it's not going to be a stable 60 frames a second, if it's going to be all over the place and only people with VRR are going to be able to play it, like with Jedi Survivor or any of those other games, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses. I'm just sitting here saying that I'm going to try the game on the Xbox. And if it's playable, I'm going to play it there. If it's not, then I'll play it on the PC. Like, if I can't do the 30 frames per second on my monitor for that game, I'll play it on the PC. But I'll tell you right now, I went through Starfield or Redfall on the Xbox Series X, and I actually preferred playing it there. I actually preferred the way the visuals looked on the Xbox over the way they looked on the PC. Like, they were just too crisp and too sharp, and I didn't really like that. I think the softer look looked better on that particular game on the Xbox. For me, anyways. For me, I mean, like I thought it looked a lot better on the Xbox than it did on the PC. The PC has like really sharp graphics, and I'm not saying that it looks bad. Like a lot of people are gonna like that look, but for me, I like the way the softness looked a little bit better. It just for me, it made the atmosphere better in that game. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that if Todd Howard and the team can find a way to bring 60 FPS to the game at a later date, I'm pretty sure they would do that. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to work on it. But when it comes to like all my other colleagues, my other friends, the content creators out there that are freaking out about this, and like the ponies, they shouldn't even be talking about it, man. They really shouldn't. It's kind of a personal choice, man. And I'm just saying, man, if you're one of those content creators that are out there doing this for the clicks, just stop, man. Like you've already got your clicks. Just move along to something else now. It's so depressing to see so many people trashing gaming, because I truly love gaming, and I'm gonna start, I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, wow, dude, like we're clearly not the same. We're clearly not the same. We don't think the same. We don't act the same. We don't have the same interests, man. I love video games, and I love to play them, and I love to show people the greatness, the things that I find, and be happy about it. And there's so many people that are working so hard to tear gaming down, and you wonder why we get all these safe video games, because every time a Todd Howard goes out of his way to create an experience that is just vast and incredible, somebody's always got to be there to tear down their work and complain about it. And the same with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, man. Like that game's incredible, freaking incredible. I love playing that one too, but gosh dang, man, I do wish it had better visuals, but whatever, man. It's still an incredible game at 30 frames per second and 720p. It's still fine. There's still plenty to do in there, and it's fun. It's entertaining, man. That's what video games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be entertaining. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, dude, it's getting pretty depressing, man. Being a YouTube content creator for video games, especially with all the negativity out there surrounding these console wars, man. It sucks. It sucks, dude. I'm like it's getting pretty bad. So I'm not calling you out or nothing, Doc. I'm not. I'm just saying that, like, dude, I think that maybe you should give the game a chance and see if it's something that you can play, man. If you physically can't play it, or it's not good, yeah, man, speak out on it. But this is a game that they've been working on for a long time, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they've built, man. If I have to play it on a PC because I can't play it on the console, then I'll say something about it. Like I'll be like, no, dude, there needs to be something fixed on this. But if it's playable, I'm not gonna freak out too much on it. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. And yes, this is the last video tonight.